Bring me, kill the tomato, stop the music, bring on the comments. Here we go. We're ready to go. Hey, Vimeo. Whew. Looked onto another one of those platforms. Again, I'm upgrading a whole lot of things here, as that goes. So Vimeo is another platform, another distribution channel. I've been told about, going and taking this and doing it as a regular audio only podcast too, which means no more photos, stuff like that. Guess it would just have to be an audio thing, not visual. But then I was told, well, you want to know something? I was told that that's not the case either. That actually can be done also with video too. So how do you know? How do you take in all of this information? Where do you know to go in order to be most effective for you? Not necessarily me, but for you, Doug. Good afternoon, my friend. But where do you go? How do you do this? Who do you turn to in order to find out what's the best strategy for you? And for you in particular, there's all kinds of places to get information from, without a doubt. Tons of places. Tons of places to get information from. Not tons of places to get coffee. I drank a little bit too much already, today. But you can go to, well, Vimeo. I went to Vimeo, and all of a sudden I got this digital chat thing that's ready to answer all my questions. Well, the problem there is that I may not know the questions I need to ask. I told them I do a podcast, live podcast. That if I have guests, maybe it gets recorded and that kind of thing, and then play again later, and then tie it in with StreamYard. But do I know the full capabilities of Vimeo? The answer to that is no. I don't know. I don't know exactly what it is that the Vimeo platform can truly offer to me. So I need them to tell me what it is. So now it's a matter of I don't know what I don't know, and I don't know the question to ask. Let me put that another way. This is years ago. Years ago, office setting, working for a company. I'm an employee, all the rest of it. And then we're getting a new computer system. Not a new computer, but a new computer system. The guts of it get changed. Whole new platform we're going to be using. So it's fantastic. We get the thing loaded up. I think it was like on a Monday. We had a day or two, whether it was a Monday or Tuesday, whatever. Doesn't make a difference. We had a day or two to acclimate ourselves to it. What a word that is, right? Acclimate yourself to it. I'm pressing buttons. What am I doing? Changing the colors, you know, that kind of thing. Maybe I move the screen around. It's all superficial junk. The tech person comes over, sits down with me one on one, as with everybody else in the room. She did it one on one with everybody. She's like, "What do you need to know?" I like, I don't know. I don't know what it does. So I don't know what I don't know. So how am I supposed to ask that question? I just don't know. I could tell her what I've been doing, but if all I'm going to do is duplicate what I've been doing and how I use the old system, why did we buy a new system? What was the purpose of the whole thing? Don't know. I was not included in those conversations, but I don't know. So there had to be some new something in there to make our lives easier, faster, more efficient or something, but I don't know what it is. So I told her I don't know what I don't know. Want to know something? If you could actually admit that you don't know what you don't know, you're going to become a much better learner. And maybe that's the other side of this coach, mentor, or motivator question that I posed over here in the beginning. All right. But are you actually even coachable is part of it. And at that point in time, yes, I was definitely coachable because I realized I just didn't know. I really didn't know. Didn't pay much attention to it, getting it till we got it. And that was it. I was willing to learn. So what was the role of that young lady at the time? Was she a motivator? Was she a mentor? Was she a coach? Well, she was more of a coach. No, actually, yeah, she was more of a coach in that role because what she actually needed to pull out from me was to find out what I really wanted to accomplish. So now, as a coach, if you're going to sit down with somebody and hire a coach, or if you want somebody to kind of share ideas with you, but allow you to make more of those decisions of where you want to go. And maybe they give you hints as to how to get there. And that's what she was going to do. She was going to tell me how to get there to best utilize this machine, this tool, in order to achieve my goals. But still, it had to come from me as to what my goals were. And it wasn't just a matter of replacing what I did before, it was a matter of putting out and talking about those challenges that I had. And if you're going to hire a coach, that's what it's about. It's not so much as about what you've accomplished and all the rest of that stuff. It's all well and good. But if you're going to hire a coach, or if you only to be a coach, you really need to find out from people what their problems are. What issues are they facing? What is it that they can't seem to get through? And then, in this case, that computer program, what solutions that computer program can actually offer to me as that went along. So that was good. Now, mentor role? Well, I definitely would not say she was a mentor. Actually, go in hindsight, I wouldn't say anybody at that company was a mentor. There was another program that we did get offered, and I would say that they were a mentor. And the difference there is that she came in, she coached for a day. Yes, Doug, you're right. I'll put that up if you don't mind. There you go. Fact finder. To get the best of what you want to do, without a doubt. You got to know. You just got to know. You may not need to know, and you don't necessarily need to know how to get there. That's what these other roles are all about. But certainly you need to know what it is that you're absolutely looking for. And she was able to ask me those questions. Probably could done, a little bit more in depth, but I didn't know how much time she had. We were a pretty big office, and there was a couple of them as that went. But anyway, so she was in the coach role, and that was what it was. So as a coach, you want to find out what those problems are with other people, and then offer various solutions that you can provide. In this case, she had a product, so it was definitely more of a product solution, and it was that product as that went along. But sometimes being a coach is sharing different thoughts and letting the client really come up with the solution to the whole thing for themselves, especially if you're a one-day coach. You're a one-day coach, boom, you're gone. You're gone. So that person really has to embrace something pretty quickly and then give them the tools to figure, to go that route and then go and then let them continue on the path. The one day coach is my humble opinion, not really a coach. That's an instructor for the day. Just fit into the coach more than anything else. But then mentor role, totally different. Again, I'm going to go back to the same scenario, different program, different setting. No, same setting. It was the same office actually, but we were given a new program, and it was a monitoring tool. It showed the history of and what products, services that we gravitated toward. Uh, broke down clients in different manners, and it painted a picture. Which actually, one of the reasons why I found that to be so important as that went along. So much so that I've incorporated that data at the time. I incorporated that data into the business plan that I had put together, that three-page business plan I spoke about. That was the data. When it comes to me and speaking with people and doing different things, the data is important. It needs to be there, but it's not what I want to focus on. I much want to focus on the why, the motivation, everything else that goes along with it. My side of things. Mentor. So you got the coach. Coach is a one-day affair, maybe a little bit more so, but coach is really somebody that make it think. Maybe provide the tools to give you to think. A mentor is totally different. See, a mentor to me means somebody that is going to work with you side by side. They're going to guide you along on an ongoing basis. Ongoing. They're going to be there with you for a long period of time. And it's not so much as they're going to teach you, but they're going to guide you. And that's what this other person did, other program that came in, And where I felt that he was much more of a mentor as it went with using this particular program is that he allowed me to do. He wasn't call him on an everyday basis or anything like that. I had the ability to call him as needed, but he would check in every so often, see how it's going, talk to me about different ideas that maybe other people were doing, and it really became good because it was an ongoing, deeper relationship. That girl, I don't even know what her name is. I'm not even sure I knew her name that day. Maybe a bad on my part. Nice if I knew her name. This other person, yeah, in fact, know the name. Uh, know the name. I remember big time help on it. But that mentor role, that was really important. Really important. And what the mentor relationship was like having a friend that knows. I get a couple of folks in real time that have been like super helpful to me as things have gone. People you pick up on the phone and call them up every once in a while, and we say, "Hey, how's it going? How you doing?" You actually get a real answer, and they and you are interested in spending a little bit more time and actually talking about the real "How's it going?" as opposed to "Hey, how's it going? Great. Looking forward to change the season. Life is good." Well, you know what? There's always more to it than that. But that mentor role, that's something. That's something. If you can get a relationship with a mentor, and that's an important one because that's a person that you can confide in completely, and they really have your interest in mind, totally in mind. It goes beyond a client relationship kind of a thing. They're really looking to impart their knowledge to you where you have that long-term success, sustainable success. Coach, I think, is a little bit different as that goes along because a coach is going to be somebody who's going to help you along without a doubt, and a good coach is worth every penny, out of doubt, worth every penny as that goes, and it's going to be much more hold your feet to the grindstone kind of thing. I got a few friends that are coaches. It's a different kind of relationship where we do the coaching thing, much more to the point. All of a sudden, boom, we got time frames involved. We got specific goals, short term and long term, that are out there. Short term goals to be met. No BS. It's got to happen. They are there. They are there. I think that coaching role is much more of an accountability partner relationship rather than a friend help me along kind of thing that a mentor would do. And that's where that goes. Great organization, by the way. The out there that is more the mentor side of it than the coaching side of it, because they're there all the time, and they have different people that give presentations, etc. And that, of course, would be the small business development centers. There's a couple of in our area. They're all across the country. Miller Business Center, another place to go. Got great people coming there and speak as well. SCORE is another one. Those are retired executives that are looking to impart their knowledge. They're not looking to get paid. In fact, all of these three organizations, they're not looking to get paid for the services they provide. They operate. The SCORE is volunteer. The Miller Business Center is privately funded through grants and things like that. And the Small Business Development Center, well, you actually pay for that. Yes, you do. Every one of you, you'll pay for that one. That is actually, it's a government agency by the Small Business Administration. The Small Business Development Centers report to the Small Business Administration, and it's part of our taxes, the taxes go to government, et cetera, et cetera. So they're there for you. Why would you not use these places? Absolutely. Great idea to use these places. Yeah, I'll say even if it's a little bit off what you're looking for. Could just be a little bit off. Like, I want to get more effective with using social media. The Miller Business Center has an event coming up that has to do with LinkedIn and LinkedIn alone. Is that perfectly what I'm looking for? No, it's not perfectly what I'm looking for, but I know there's going to be takeaways that come from it. And I know the person that's giving the presentation. So it's always nice to see and support, that. But I know I'm going to walk away with value on that one. That's attending something. It's not really a direct relationship but it's a conduit, and that's why I think those 3 plays well, the 2 of them are really great conduits. The SCORE program, that really could turn out to be a real true mentor relationship. And these are executives that have been there, done that. They had their own businesses, were successful in various industries. They're retired now and they just don't want to sit at home and do nothing. They want to get out there and they want to continue to help people in their area that they know, that they're knowledgeable about, and help along. Great resource, absolutely great resource. Before I get into the motivator role, I could tell you another story that goes back on that one. This goes back to when I was in college. Yeah, that was a couple of years ago. It's a couple of decades ago. It was a long while back, but it was a class I was giving. I was giving. It's a class I was taking, and I had to give an oral presentation. Okay, I'm confident there. I had to give an oral presentation, and it was on a business project. So what I used was had a friend that had opened up like a fruit market. It was actual brick and mortar business. I don't think there was any online at the time. In fact, there was not. But it was a brick and mortar business, and I was going to write the marketing plan for him. And I did, but I also had to give an oral presentation about that plan, what my justifications were, how I thought it should go, where I thought the effort should be, where I thought money should be spent, maybe not spent also. I was in college. What did I really know about it? I knew I liked to be in front of the room. That I knew. That's not a darn thing in the world with content, is it? I also liked the idea of business. So there I had an interest, and that's why I kind of picked the topic. It was a good friend of mine. I was like, okay, this kind of works. That was what was on top of my mind. That was the opportunity, we'll say, at the time. But what do I really know about marketing and anything like that? No. Did a bunch of research, went to the library, did that. Actually, had to go to a library and do that kind of thing. And then I actually reached out to the folks over at SCORE. Had a long conversation with them, a couple of them. Long conversation with them at the time. And it was about what do I know? What do I know? It's what do I don't know? What is it that I need to go figure out about marketing this thing? There was no social media, so forget that. So it was money that had to be spent, and where do you spend the money? So the biggest thing that he had me think about, and it was, and this was really good, was the fact that how far are people going to travel in order to go buy fruit? How far would you go to buy a red pepper, a green pepper, butternut squash? Any of those things. How far would you travel? I'm thinking, good question. So that became the research. So he really became a mentor to me because he stuck with me throughout the whole project, and that was great. And gave me different ideas and different things for me to do. Allowed me to work at my own speed. I had to give that presentation at a certain time, but allowed me to learn at my own pace and allowed me to make mistakes and allowed me to go down rabbit holes that I went to. I think if it was a coach, it would have been a little bit more. It would have been a little bit more different. I think it would have a little bit more stricter in different things, where there would have been specific goals. And I don't think a coach, especially if you're paying a coach, would allow you to go down too many rabbit holes. That's not what they want to see. They want to see you achieve something, achieve those goals. Both parties, right? If you're hiring a coach, you want to see results. You don't want to say, oh, that was a great learning experience. Some of it, not all of it. So that's where it is. How to be more effective and whatever it was, that kind of thing. So obviously, I would be looking at hiring a marketing coach, not necessarily a sales coach or an operations coach or something like that. So what it definitely would have been more marketing. So I would have been looking to hire someone who coaches in a respective area that truly knows what it is that they are talking about. And it holds true in both cases, whether it be a mentor that you're looking for or you're looking to hire a coach. Needs to be that somebody that has knowledge in a specific area. So we'll flip this around real quick on that. What if you are that coach? What if you are that mentor? Are you a mentor to somebody or are you a coach to somebody? Are you getting paid to do it or are you not getting paid to do it? Are you giving that person enough room and leeway to make their own mistakes because you want them to really understand from a deeper level as to why to not do something, just as why to do something? I think you fall more into the mentor thing, especially if you're not getting compensated. But if you're coaching somebody, if you're really truly a coach, not just a friend helping out, not anything like that, not just someone who's shooting the bull every once in a while. And for those of you that are surrounding me that help out with that kind of thing, love you all. I got to tell you, definitely appreciate, definitely appreciate all of that. But if you really want to get down to it and you really want to be a coach, here's the thing: you need to be real specific as to what you coach on. I help people. I help people achieve their goals. What crap is that? Really, that's not it. You help small to medium sized businesses reach the next level. No, let's get better with that one. I help revenue companies. I help companies increase their revenue from the $5 to $10 million range to the $20 to $25 million range. Now, all of a sudden, you've painted a picture. Have you not seen yourself? Hopefully, you did see yourself, in that category. But now, even if you didn't, and not you, but now all of a sudden you could visualize what that company looks like. You have somebody that works with companies that are, 5 to 10 employee companies. You work with them with their HR needs for those companies that are 5 to 10 employees but don't have their own HR department. Now you've painted a picture. Could be a number of different categories that goes along with it. Same thing with marketing, podcasts. Look, with the podcast, there are certain folks that would be very appropriate, and it's very clear in my mind as to what individual needs are as to folks that want to get into podcasting, as to what to do. I've shared different thoughts with people along the way. That's, friend thoughts, whatever. Mentor, I don't even know if you want to call it that. As that goes. Coach, no, it's one off conversation. It's not really a formal kind of a thing. But certainly those that wind up in the need to hire a service or really looking to do a podcast, there are three people that I would recommend that have got very clear categories of what it is that they do and how it is that they do it. All podcasts, two are visual, two are audio visual, one is just pure audio. Okay, now if you want to do visual, that narrows it down to the other two. You have a location. Well, okay, now we're down to one in particular, although the other one can do it, but one in particular who I would rely on. You need a studio to show up at your place. Now we're down to one. You need to go into a studio because, well, maybe because you're new at it and you want to walk into that setting. Oh, you might think that that doesn't mean much. It actually does. It actually does. Think about the first time you did a Zoom meeting. Getting on Zoom camera, it's uncomfortable. It's not the right feel. Some people need that feel, want to be in a formal studio setting, want to see the producer that's there, want to see the multiple cameras. Is another big deal. Want to, see the multiple cameras, the green screen, the setting, all the rest of that kind of stuff. Now, to have those conversations now, and definitely much more in the coaching role, because now it's specific questions to get asked as to what somebody wants to do. Now, of course, it's important to know. It's important to understand. The other side of it too is, of course, budget too. I've spoke quite frequently about the idea of doing this and do this one from home. It's not a big dollar amount. It's easy. Well, at least I think it's easy. But anyhow, it's not a big dollar amount. What if you have a place of business? You want to do it from your place of business. Again, not a big dollar amount. It's a camera, couple of lights, microphone, and you're good to go. That's really about it. Content. Well, if you want to do it on the lower price side of things or no price side of things, it's easy. All you need to do is write down those questions that your customers are asking you all the time, and boom, you're good to go. Those become your podcast topics. You don't need to do 30 minutes, do 5 minutes, do 3 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, 2 to 3 minute tidbit, weekly tidbit on whatever your topic is. But there's a lot of things I could never coach on. Just couldn't do it. Operations, no way. Technical stuff, no way. Sales, no way. Just not happening. Just not happening. It's not where my expertise is. Where is your expertise? Make sure you share that with people and make sure that it is really clear to others. This goes into your brand as to where your area of expertise is. And for you internally, go figure out, are you a mentor or are you a coach? And I'll give you, you get the friends, it gets great and the rest of that stuff. But if you're doing this as a business, are you a mentor or a coach? You know, and put yourself out that way. And if you just want to share your knowledge, see if you can join SCORE. Become one of those executives that share. You want to become a coach? Well, changes it up a little bit. Make sure you're really clear as to what your area of expertise is, expectations, and of course, fees that go along with it. So, what about the last one, motivator? What in the world is a motivator? I think for the most part, a motivator is somebody that's going to more or less tell their own story. They're not going to interact with you personally. They're going to tell their story. They're going to show you that regardless of whatever your challenge is, you are not alone. They're going to tell you that they had a challenge that they faced. They had some hurdle that they had to actually work their way through, that they had something that they had to deal with that was, oh my, that was so bad. But then again, they saw what the opportunity was. They saw a way around it. They saw that having a good partner made sense. Having a bad partner could really be a problem. But they're sharing their own story. Many times it's the one-off kind of a thing. Can you be a motivator, a coach, and a mentor? Maybe inside of your marketing world, there is that aspect of it. Because if you do need to add that credibility factor, you can't just say, "Hey, yeah, I'm a retired executive, and I was really good at this." Well, what'd you do? You're a coach. If you're a coach and you want to market yourself, you got to show some results someplace. You got to talk about those stories. Now you're in that motivational category, but you're in the motivational category from the standpoint of marketing. You're not a motivational speaker. You don't want to be a motivational speaker. You become a motivational speaker, you get paid once, and there are people that make great careers out of that. Not knocking it at all. But their pay, their talent, their expertise, their value is in inspiring. Not necessarily working one on one, not being a mentor, but inspiring. I think a good motivational speaker is someone who's going to stand up in front of a room, stand on a podcast, get on a stage someplace, TV show, whatever it is, at one of these events, any place. And someone who's going to go out there, going to be able to relate to you, going to be able to tell their story with details, but wide enough where you could see yourself in some similar situation where it is applicable to you in some way, shape, or form. And then end it with some sort of an idea that is actionable. 3 actionable ideas, even better, but actionable. I've listened to many motivational speakers along the way, and you want to know something? There's very few that I really, truly remember. And it's because they had an actionable thought that goes along with it. Actionable thought. You want to be a motivational speaker? Hey, man, that's all well and good. There's a lifestyle that goes along with mentor, with coach, motivational speaker, whatever it is. But there is a distinct difference that happens with that. So as you continue to grow, you need to be clear as to what category you fall into. Some of it has to do with money, how you want to get compensated. Some of it has to do with your area of expertise, but a lot of it has to do with you. Who are you as a person? What is it that you want to accomplish on a going forward basis? How do you want to be seen by everybody? Coach, mentor, motivator. And I know there's a little bit of a motivator in all of you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be who you are. And that's also why you do speak well, you do speak often, and you do live inspired, and you do inspire others to do exactly the same thing. Have an incredible day, my friends.